I'm walking around this morning with a pretty low frequency energy in me. So I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to show how I work with energy, changing energy. So I recognize this low energy just by the fact that how my body feels. I'm checking in with my body, like some kind of tension around my chest. My breathing is a little bit it doesn't feel natural to smile. My face is like going downwards, feeling heavy. And my body is heavy, feels heavy. And I check in with my body and how that feels. And I usually kind of what's the word? I remember how it feels when I'm dancing and being in high frequency, and check that against how it feels now in the present moment. And then if I feel pretty quick that okay, I'm not there, I have a low frequency. And that test also reminds me how much I want to be in the high. Because that's the thing about being in the low, that it feels kind of, most of us has been most of our lives in the low frequency. That feels more natural or comfortable in a way, even though we don't want to be there. So it's a good reminder that I know how it feels to be in the higher frequency and that I really want to be there. And this isn't my natural state. This is just how it's been for many years, and it's my programming, my history. So remembering how it felt, just picking some kind of memory where I know I was in a high frequency, and comparing it is the word, comparing it to my frequency now. Okay, so I'll be checking with my body how it feels, where there's tension, where there's heaviness. Sometimes I get a grip of a feeling. Okay, so there's some kind of sadness around the heart. Where in the body is there any feeling that isn't in a high frequency? And if I can, I sit with it for a while and feel it and let it come and see if it tells me something new, if it's something that I really need to be with. Because it's not always that we just have to change frequency. That's the right thing to do. If there's a feeling that tells us something, that has something to offer us, if it gives me something of worth, like, okay, maybe this shows something in a relationship I have around me that I really need to discuss, or just here to show me that what I'm doing right now is not fulfilling for me. Or so listening to it and what it has to offer, not just listening to it indulging in all the negative thoughts that it brings with it. So what is it offering me? What gift does it bring? What truth is useful for me? And checking in with my body often needs me to slow down first. So usually the low frequency is often connected to a speed or a doing mode that I need to stop first. So usually I just recognize something isn't the way I want it to be. In me, it doesn't feel happiness, doesn't feel lightness, so I just stop. Make sure that I can stop, to go to a place where I don't have to be doing stuff or be social, and that can be like just another part of the store, or it doesn't have to be, oh, I have to have a weekend in the forest. Just go somewhere where it's a little bit quieter and a little bit calmer and less people, usually. And listen. And when I get conscious of my body, usually I start to get conscious of my thoughts. So I listen to the body, listen to the feelings, listen to the thoughts. And usually the thoughts are not so positive, right? If the body feels tension and the energy is low, usually you have a tape going on with thoughts that's not good for you and not brings you to the place you want to be. So just recognizing, just hearing them, like, okay, so that wasn't that nice to myself, or just trying to lay down the words in front of you in your mind and look at them and, okay, that's a thought that I wouldn't recommend anyone else to think. And as soon as you see the thoughts, it's so much easier to just, okay, letting that one go. Thank you, but no thank you. And just imagining it disappearing. And just sit with that for a while. Just a few minutes is often enough for me anyway, to just, okay, I'm in a spin of thoughts that's not good for me. So I need to, because then I know this is not something I need to sit with. Maybe it's a feeling I need to do something with, but if I recognize that I'm just sitting, feeding myself with thoughts that are not good for me, I need to just shift, right? Because that, if I shift my energy, my frequency, the thoughts will be totally different. The feelings will be totally different. So today I've left my kid at the school and bicycled home and just recognized the tightness in my body. So I just stopped. I recognized that I wasn't in the frequency that I wanted. I listened to some meditation, just checking in with my body, and slowed down. And when I've left my bike, I turned to my body and listened, what do you need? And it just led me to the forest and the nature. And the more you speak to your body, the more often you ask, what do you need? It will show you more and more clearly. You will feel, if you let it lead, it will lead. So here I am, in my nearest piece of nature. It is so beautiful. And I'm very thankful that I have this so close, so I can walk here. And there's so much research that shows that spending time in nature and being in contact with wood and stone and grass and water changes our brain and how we our well-being. So that's a fact. We just need to be more in nature. We have to find ways that so we like being in the nature, because we're not many of us are not used to it, and many have maybe experiences of being in nature without the right in the wrong ways for us. So we get cold, or we get bored, or we get feel pressure of being, you know, being able to do something. You have to be good at skiing or whatever. So finding a way to enjoy nature. And for me, usually I want to be slower in. I love skiing and doing stuff in nature too, but that doesn't connect me with nature the way it does when I'm slow. I want to walk slow. I want to get in contact with trees. I want to touch. I want to sit. I want to watch something really consciously. So that is how I usually enjoy nature most. So now I'm here, right? And just slowing down and being aware of the fact that my energy is what it is the first step. So now I would do a little bit of mindfulness. The breath, right, is are a really strong link to our bodies. So I would just close my eyes and be very aware of my breath, feeling it go in all the way and following it out. And maybe I do some breath work, like breathing in, counting to 4, and then holding my breath, counting to 4, breathing out, holding 4, and in a loop, the way it feels comfortable, and as long as it feels comfortable, because that totally tells the body that everything is okay, and I can relax, and there's nothing, no threat around me. Or I would just let the breath go as it wants to, and just following it and trying to follow it calms all the thoughts, because it can't focus on my problem 2 weeks ahead at the same time as it is totally focused on how it feels breathing. So just following it. And I get a smile now because I have triggered my body and my brain to know that when I start doing this, it's gonna feel good. So I've done this so many times that it, in a way, so that it has led to me feeling positive feelings. So now my brain is fast, like, oh, she's doing this thing that's gonna make me good in a while. Yay! And it starts feeling good right away. So that's why we have to practice it. It doesn't always necessarily work at the first time. No, I have to reprogram the body. It's like, when we do this, it's gonna lead to something good. Instead of like the old way, I would, okay, I'm stressed, I need to do stuff. I need to make a list, and I have to do all the things on the list so I feel productive and I feel like I'm doing something and I'm worthy, and which makes the brain not feel good, makes the body not feel good, and me telling myself that when I don't feel good, I pressure myself and I'm doing all this if that doesn't lead to a place where I feel good. Makes no sense, right? So I need to show my body that when you show me that you're not feeling good, that something is not right, the frequency is low, I'm gonna help you get to a place where it's gonna feel good. And that's where shit happens, not in the stress mode. You're just gonna go into a negative loop, and the stuff that you're gonna write on the list and the stuff you're gonna do is not what the body needs or long for, probably, usually. And when you give the body and the mind what it is longing for and needs, the stuff is just going to come to you naturally. You're just going to do stuff out of the good vibe, the good energy that you're in. And everything goes smoother and easier and faster. And so this is, we're just kidding ourselves. We're just leading us on a wrong path when we're trying to be productive from a stressed state. Yeah. So breathing and following or cooling it down. And then focusing. Just mindfulness is all about focus, right? So it doesn't matter what you're focusing on. It's a way to tell the brain to change focus from worrying or being in the past or being in the present and being now here. So I can just choose whatever. Like I'm on this beautiful rock. I don't know if you can see it, probably. Yeah. And I have beautiful trees. So maybe I would just choose something. See if I can get some focus. And just watch it as choose to watch this green stuff as if I was a child that had never seen this before. Like, wow, how does it actually look? What is it? How does it grow? What's on it? What color is it? How is it attached? What does it live off? Can't get focus, sorry. But you get this point. And just you can pick whatever object, because and that's the beauty, right? Like nature is full of really cool stuff when you look at them. So check these. You can watch this leaf, just how is it made. Just follow the lines and watch the colors and put it on against other objects. What is it? Water, of course. Watching water move. Just recognize what happens in your body. Yeah, so different kind of mindfulness practice. Okay. So all of this I've been doing until this moment is calming my body, calming my brain, letting me know that everything is all right. And I'm feeling my energy shift. Because there's no rush, there's no panic. Do I have a really, really panicking problem I have to solve right now, or otherwise I would die? No. It's dog in the way. Dogs. And when I've slowed my brain and my thoughts, that's when I usually listen how my body wants to move. Because I've learned that when my frequency is low, usually my body wants to move in a way that I haven't let it enough. And the body is a genius at changing energy and letting go of old energy and letting new energy in. So I'm gonna do another movie where I just show how I listen in my movements. And this is a practice too, to just let the body lead, not your brain lead, like I want to look like this, or this is okay to do in this surrounding, or start practicing in a place where you feel totally secure and you can do whatever movements, because not every movement is beautiful or feels normal. You have to let the body do whatever it needs to do. And usually it's about moving parts of your body that you haven't moved as much as it needs to. So it can feel a little bit weird and like, am I gonna move my shoulder in this way, or am I gonna shake this part of my body this way? It's not usually maybe what we see that often or do that often. So it's a lot about letting control go, right? Not controlling it, letting the body lead. So I started totally by myself, not letting anyone knowing what I'm doing, and now I can do it wherever, because now it's so I don't give a shit what people think, and it comes so easily to me now. And usually my experience is that people just, if I start dancing a little maybe in the store or wherever I need to do it, people just get happy, right? Because everyone feels when someone is doing something out of self-love and happiness, and the body expressing stuff. I think we're longing for people to express stuff. We're so closed off and going around in our own worlds, and it's kind of boring. So if I start singing somewhere a little bit, or moving in a way and shaking off somewhere, my experience is that people just get smiles on their faces, and so that's perfect, right? And start with small movements like standing or sitting or lying totally still and just feeling inwards what is wanting to move now and how. And if you then get to bigger movements, stop once in a while and really feel like, is this really what the body wants to do? Is it my brain taking over? Who is leading? And just try it. Just try for fun. Have fun. Put on some music and not doing the the movements that you used doing because, ooh, that's what they did in the movie, or and that's what looks cool on a disco. Maybe you want to do that too. It's perfect, right? Do that too. But also feeling how the body wants to move. Okay, so I'll do another. You'll see on the other movies examples of me listening to my body and how it wants to move. So this was an example of things that I do when I notice my body is a low frequency, and I feel it changing, longing now to move, longing to give it what it needs, probably needs to go into the warmth pretty soon and have some more to eat. But it always feels so good just stopping and listening and being in this surrounding. And the surrounding isn't always like this. Maybe it's picking up a cozy blanket and have around me, or maybe it's just picking another corner in the restaurant, just listening to, so like, where do I want to go, what do I need to have around me, what do I need to have on me or close to me, or to tell my body it's everything is all right and cool it down. Okay. Closing off with showing some more of the water. You enjoy if you want to.